It is the second most visited and most used website on the planet Earth. Maybe Mars too, but we haven't checked there just yet. It is considered the best platform for content creator entrepreneurs to make a living. It is the entertainment destination for billions every single day and the most visited website for one of the most populated countries on the planet Earth. Yes, I'm talking about YouTube. Of course, you knew it probably from the jump. And today is actually the day YouTube was founded. Today is YouTube's birthday. Let's get into the history of the platform. And if you are a business owner, content marketer, entrepreneur, or advertiser, these are the facts you need to know to jump on the platform if you aren't on right now and to get the most out of it. And if you are on the platform, well, hey, this is the details you need to make your channel grow, connect with your target audience, and be found online with the number one entertainment destination in the world. YouTube. Let's get it. What's good, everybody? So today is the birthday of YouTube, and there are a few key dates to keep in mind about YouTube. Now, YouTube was founded today. Keep that in mind. It was founded today. 2025. Good Lord, it is 2025. That means YouTube is 20 years old today. Now, it didn't immediately become the number one destination online for entertainment content. No, it wasn't always that way. In fact, and I don't think that was the idea that the founders, Steve Chen, Chad Hurley, and Jawed Karim had in mind to make the number one entertainment destination in the world. Because really, it was more so a video sharing platform than anything else. Not to be the second most used search engine in the world. Because although a lot of people were thinking about video search at the time, yes, people were actually talking about this because search engines had started to grow. Right, we're at the time period where Yahoo and Google were already around. But the idea of video search was only being kicked around in its initial stages. Now, later on that year, in 2005, years ago, many years ago, Me at the Zoo was uploaded on April 23rd and is recognized as the first video uploaded to the platform. It's a 19-second video which features one of the founders of YouTube at the zoo. And this is what YouTube was. And it still is to this day, but this is what YouTube started as. Just people uploading random videos that they wanted to share with the world. Later that year, December 15th, 2005, the site launched officially. And actually by this time, by 2005, December 15th, 2005, they were receiving 8 million views a day already within that 1 year, not even a full calendar year. Think about that, the growth power of that. And that really came from the growth of people just wanting to share online. If you really want to look at this for what it is, this is a great example of how the power of people wanting to share what they do with the world is what truly fueled and pushed everything on the internet. And it's the reason why YouTube, although there were other, and there still are other video sharing platforms, the reason why YouTube became the juggernaut it truly is today, because let's be honest, it is not the easiest platform to make content for. That's actually been one of the challenges that a lot of people have had even getting started with YouTube. It's not the easiest platform to get a lot of growth and be found because of the competition, some people would argue. But honestly, it's because there are some hurdles that you may encounter on your YouTube journey. But like any other platform, you just got to get started. So we're going to touch a little bit more on the actual history of the platform, but more importantly, where we are now and the opportunities it has for any form of entrepreneurship, whether you're a creator entrepreneur, whether you started a small business and you have a retail shop, or you have a brick and mortar shop, or you're just strictly online. It doesn't matter. This is a great platform to connect and to share and to keep that core, the nexus of the platform, to keep that going. And then finally, we're going to look at the opportunities that are there and the opportunities that YouTube is actually creating to bring on more creators, to help creators overcome those small hurdles. Because the thing about YouTube is that although new platforms pop up here and there all the time, it's not going anywhere. They're putting more and more investment into the platform, and you want to be a part of what could be one of the best, if not the best year to be on YouTube. And that's what we'll get into today. Now, like most businesses, and I do mean most, there are so many businesses, especially in the tech and .com realm. They started out focusing on one particular area and completely transitioned, whether it be in the same industry, just in a different sector, or completely different space. YouTube, and this is for those who may not know, the original concept of YouTube was to be a dating service or a dating app, right? Before apps became a thing, before apps were really around, the idea was for YouTube to be an online dating service which we're all happy today, ultimately failed, but the key element stayed. Now, this goes back to what I've mentioned about MVPs. The key element being exceptional video and uploading features and as a platform. Now, that feature wasn't integrated, or at least those options weren't integrated until later on by April 23rd, 2005. But the concept was always there to make it possible to connect through video, which is crazy now if you think about it from the dating aspect, right? I mean, overall, of all the dating apps that are out there, there's nothing that connects video to video. And let's just be real. There are some opportunities still with YouTube having the community aspect of things, but uploading your thoughts, your opinions, your ideas, your knowledge, your skill set on YouTube has been there since the very beginning. And a lot of apps and platforms are still looking to replicate what they designed pretty much from the very beginning. And no one's done it even close just yet. Didn't take them very long, but in 2007, that's when we saw more language variations, more language versions. A big factor of the growth of YouTube came around that same time period between 2007, 2010, when features like the thumbs up rating system and the different levels of video resolution for upload from 480p, 720p, that helped significantly because, of course, we're talking about a time period where everybody didn't have the most powerful camera in their phone. Here's a very interesting, if you look at this timeline, here's a very interesting element that was added very early on still, if you think from starting in 2005 only into 2009. Automatic speak recognition. You see, this is why I always go back to when we're talking about anyone who wants to develop an app, develop a platform, develop a business in general. Keep pushing it. Be innovative. Think different. Think outside the box. The idea of having some of these elements early on, just 3 to 4 years after you've started, and getting them out into the world just to see what happens, just to see how it helps that audience and that community is extremely important. 2010, they introduced 4K video. Now, I'm not going to be bogus. Well, I am about to be bogus. But there are people who are still trying to get on that 4K video vibe. Okay? There are platforms that are still struggling with it. And they were on this in 2010. Keep in mind. The company they still haven't connected with Google Video just yet. So they're still running this on their own side of the business as their own aspect in their own business channel. Incredibly important. Focus on the community, focus on the creators, and focus on the tools that they need to use your platform, or use your product or your service better. Although we're talking about the history of YouTube, I'm going to constantly connect it with what you can do and how you can do it. Because you don't necessarily have to create the next YouTube. You don't have to create the next Facebook. All of these things we're going to go over in the history of YouTube and the next, the statistics, are elements that you can apply to any business. When you're focusing on the community, focusing on the creators, focusing on the people who invest their time, effort, and energy into your business and into your venture. Now, taking a step back, and this is what really propelled, if you will, YouTube, and let's be real, made it an easy buy for Google in absorbing, is the first targeted advertising. The first targeted advertising came about in 2006. So we're still almost 20 years, right, to that anniversary. And the ad was for Prison Break. And I must admit, I've never watched an episode of that show. But it's that type of forward thinking that could set a platform apart from all others. Now, of course, the platform had already received some investment from major venture capitalists and organizations because of the founders and the founders' history. I've brought this group up before. In past episodes. And a phrase that was coined years ago called the PayPal Mafia. Now, the PayPal Mafia, which everybody in this image here was notably a part of. And this was a phrase coined some years back, and just how each one of these individuals went on to, although working or a part of PayPal in its initial stages, or its early days at least, went on to create some of the biggest tech companies outside of it. Some somewhat connected and aligned with PayPal, some completely different areas and ventures. And that also included Jawed Karim. Now, Jawed was a member because he was an engineer for PayPal. And he was, of course, one of the co-founders of YouTube. He also went on to found and start one of the largest venture capital firms, Y Ventures. Bring that up because recently, just a few weeks ago, we had one of the most important weeks if you're an entrepreneur or small business owner, and that is International Networking Week. Connect with people, build relationships. And I'm not talking about, I always call this out real quick. I'm an introvert. I'm very shy most of the time. And frankly, I know nothing gets done in this world unless you're working with people. Build an environment or find an environment that you're comfortable in. And a lot of times it's just working with like-minded people, whether it's the same level of creativity or it's the same areas of interest. Bring all that up because it's being in those types of rooms where you're working with people, you're networking, you're connecting with people, that you can build something great. I mean, the first video on YouTube is Jawed's. Isn't that great? That's exactly where you want to be. it's my best friend, or it's my associate, or it's my colleague, or it's my business partner, that we can attribute to the very first contact, the first email, the first upload, the first whatever it may be, right? Whatever you want to call it, whatever you get to coin the phrase. That's incredibly important, to be with people and connect with people and create with people. Incredibly important. But getting back to the history of YouTube, y'all. So one of the craziest stats to bring about YouTube's history is that YouTube consumed as much bandwidth as the entire internet at one point. That's how powerful it was just by 2007. And you're telling me you're thinking that the platform isn't, when I say the best platform for a creator, the best platform for a creative entrepreneur, then you missing it entirely. Because it already started to see the level of growth. No platform has taken that level or has blown up to that point since then. And that's because of, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of other factors we have to keep in place, right? We have to bring that can come into place and impact that great deal, which is, political issues, social issues, failures on leadership of those platforms to read the room in many cases, and then those who are just not willing to be innovative. But based on what YouTube was able to do early on, and the fact that it was empowering creators for quite some time, changes with leadership, and then other opportunities came into place where it impacted creators a great deal. But overall, they stayed true to the idea of the community, at least of the community of the creators. Not to say everything's perfect and there are some opportunities. Don't get me wrong, there's some significant opportunities there. But just to call out that early on, they were focusing on what the creators needed the most to keep creating and, of course, bringing people to the platform. So we're going to finish looking at the history of YouTube real quick with some significant points over the past few years. 2020, they introduced shorts, right? Direct response to what was going on in the changes in the focal point for short form content. Yet long form content is still relevant and is still very powerful on platforms like YouTube and is not going away. In addition, YouTube also removed features like negative user ratings, also known as a dislike or thumbs down, at one point, and introduced ad blockers. Okay, I got that last part wrong. Let me change that up. And in 2023, YouTube even began blocking videos for users of ad blockers. And now we've seen that slowly but surely change, where there are platforms or there are tools that you can now use to block out ads all throughout, of course, the internet. And this, funny enough, advertisements run on YouTube for these. Go fig. And of course, YouTube introduced YouTube Premium, which had a slew of features. Most notable, one of the most important features for people is the feature to have the screen hibernate or go to sleep and the video, or at least the audio, still plays from the video, which became a significant reason for people utilizing and purchasing YouTube Premium. But even with this factor where, as soon as you know what I'm talking about, as soon as that screen goes off, it stops playing. Yeah. Even with that, doesn't change anything. People have still flocked to YouTube. And this is the scary one. This is the one that you really want to pay attention to when we get into the stats of YouTube. And when you create content on YouTube, creating with these things in mind is extremely important. If you want to have the growth you're looking for and you want to be competitive, extremely important. The growth and the power of YouTube around the world. Because this is the area a lot of creators actually miss. But here are the stats about YouTube that really should let you understand how powerful it is and why, as a content creator, content marketer, small business owner, reason why you need to be leveraging this platform to connect with audiences and build an additional revenue stream. And quite possibly one of the most overlooked areas that you could be missing out on an opportunity to connect with audiences. With over 500 million users on YouTube, users, that's not content creators. That's not necessarily people who are just uploading content. Those are people who are going to YouTube for various reasons, to study, to find new interests, to find more information about a new interest, to find out information about your industry and your business. What people tend to miss out on are all of the countries that are utilizing YouTube on a regular basis. In fact, India has more YouTube users than any other country in the world. The US is actually second behind India's users and user base. The UK is closing in third place. And when I say closing in, I mean closing in just to take third place. It is not closing in and becoming the number one anytime soon. Not just because of population, but also you have to keep in mind of the content that's being added to YouTube. It's for everybody. So many people can utilize and leverage it. It doesn't target one specific group. And that's my point of your content being uploaded in different languages, your content having a diverse face on it, your content connecting with audiences on different levels about different topics. Focusing on just what's trending, yeah, that might be a good start. And that might be a good way to keep growth going. But you never know. Your entire audience could be in a country you've never heard of. Meaning that the same interests, the same goals that you guys have. Sharing ideas, philosophies, and skill set could connect with audiences in multiple countries, multiple languages. Another very important area to understand about YouTube is the demographic when it comes to age. YouTube is quite possibly the only platform to connect with ages 16 all the way into the 50s. Some platforms fall off completely when we talk about user base ages 20 and up, 30 and up, 40 and up. YouTube does not do this. No matter the age of the user group, YouTube has a significant hold on them. YouTube has a significant connection with them. Think about it. With a platform, now this number is beyond one country. Okay? A platform with over 2 billion active users. People just go on, check out some videos, log off. Don't even log in. Just go on and check out videos. Almost any business can connect with an audience. And the craziest part about it, and this is why the advertising channel is so effective, 70% of viewers have made a purchase after seeing a brand on YouTube. When you're thinking about advertising your business and connecting your business with people, that is a channel you have to consider whenever throwing marketing dollars towards something or marketing efforts in general. And the fun part, and I do mean the fun part is you can be as creative as you need to be. Because when people go to YouTube, they're thinking of a television show, they're thinking of a movie, they're thinking of a streaming, content creator that they follow. They are thinking, I am going to be entertained and I'm going to be engaged with. Be as creative as you can be. Now, when we talk about the business of it all, I've brought up before, and I'm going to keep saying it, YouTube is still the second largest search engine in the world. Do you think that's going to slow down with AI? No. Honestly, no. Because remember, the idea from a search engine standpoint, it's about the content I can create for it, right? So AI search, in most cases, at least from what we early stages we've heard about, it's going to be pulling from other content out there and other content creators out there, right? Not necessarily generating it on its own. Now, YouTube isn't generating on its own. Google isn't generating on its own. But people are creating content specifically for YouTube, and that ain't slowing down. So until you have a dedicated industry sector of people creating content specifically for AI search, it's going to be a long time before this falls off, at least in second place. Not to say there won't be, AI search popping up in third, fourth, fifth, whatever it may be. But we're talking about the second most used search engine. And once again, you can upload straight audio to YouTube. You can upload a video to YouTube. And for those who just wonder, I'm not making this to sing the praises of YouTube. I'm making sure to clarify this. This is why, as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, if you haven't thought about it before, if you've been thinking about it, stop thinking about it. Just do it. And we're going to get into those opportunities in a moment. Just wanted to leave you with two more pieces. And this is ideal for you. So for everybody who said, okay, short form content, the ideal video length of any content on YouTube is actually within 7 to 15 minutes. Not too long, but it's right in that sweet spot. So if you're wondering like, oh my God, I got to make all these 30-second clips, make a 15-minute video and you can chop that up and have thousands of everything. Remember, translating. Remember, just the audio. Remember, faceless. You can make thousands of types of pieces of content from that one 15-minute video. This is not Whistling Dixie. This is actual facts, hard numbers for you guys to use. And here's the last piece of statistics for you. Not only is it even easier, like I said before, it was a little more challenging. Is it even easier to create content and upload that content? But YouTube itself, we actually did an entire episode about this. YouTube is actually pushing for first-time creators, putting time, effort, and energy and money and technology behind first-time creators to make it easier for your videos to be found, and to make it easier for your videos to connect with the right people, not just to be found, because we've seen that a lot in the past. I've worked on a few YouTube channels in the past, and, people will get some traction, but they'll like, hey, these people are not coming back. They're watching videos, but they're not coming back. And that's what you want. You want retention. You want people to come back. You want people, which means people who it's truly for. YouTube is putting that technology, effort, and energy behind making sure that content, especially for a new content creator, especially for a new YouTuber, that your video is found by the right people, the people who show interest in content you create. More likely to subscribe, more likely to follow, more likely to hit that notification bell. That's right, I said it. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Brother needs that over here. So with that, let's get into the opportunities of YouTube. And if you're not there now, make it easier for you to get on. And if you are there, to leverage the platform and get the most out of it. Okay, everybody. So what are the opportunities? What are the opportunities on YouTube? First off, we know YouTube has been around. It's almost 20 years now, right? Right. 20 years since the first upload and the first, getting it off the ground and it becoming the platform it has become. This is his birthday. So we wanted to make sure that we highlight why this platform coming into existence has helped so many creators and small business owners. But what are the opportunities that are there now, specifically right now, and just in general, have always been there from YouTube, and that we can leverage. One of the biggest opportunities that's there on YouTube is the fact that it is the second most used website in the world. Used. Now, if you don't know who you're talking to, if you don't know who your audience is, that will make it very tough to find the most profitable, the most engaging, and the most important audience to you, right? Who are you making content for? Who are you making videos for? Who are you trying to talk to? Who are you trying to connect with? Get that established first off. And why would they come back to your channel? Make the channel, and why would they come back? So why would they come here? Why do they want to come to you? And why would they come back? You have to give them a reason to come back. Consistency is one of those important factors of coming back, right? Because if I go there and I found some great information, and then 2 weeks later, okay, there's a video, and then 2 days later there's a video, and then a month later there's a video, and then a year later there's a video, it's not very consistent. The sad part is there are a lot of YouTubers that have a very strong following right now that could have a 10, maybe even 100 times more followers, subscribers, sponsors, if they were more consistent. I know I've seen that. There's a couple YouTube channels that I follow, and I'm like, man, this person drops a video, and then 2 weeks later they drop a video, and then a month later they drop a video. Now they'll keep people informed, they'll keep commenting, they'll keep having conversations, but because of a lack of consistency, make a schedule that works for you. You don't even necessarily have to tell people and communicate that out, but make a schedule that works for you. That way people can come back on a regular basis, and you can kind of bank on that. But the other big area of opportunity is not just because it's constantly being used, it is the second most used website in the world, is that stability is a key. We've seen apps come and go. We've seen platforms come and go. We've seen this all happen. Right? The platform that was supposed to dethrone and destroy. I heard so many people, it was so funny. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even before, the last two elections, people were saying, hey, this platform is going to take YouTube's throne, or this platform is going to take YouTube's throne. No, hasn't happened yet. There's a level of stability there because there's a level of stability in the user, in the community that watches those users. That's incredibly important because you want to leverage that in your favor. You see, everything I'm saying right now is not about opportunities necessarily that, once again, hooting and hollering, talking about the beauty of YouTube. No. This is about you, your business, your creative venture, your entrepreneurial venture, your small business. This is about you and how you can leverage the tools that are out there. Because there's a bunch of platforms. I say try them, test them, figure out what works for you. But if this is a platform that gives people opportunity to launch movie careers, launch film careers, launch agencies, launch fashion line, I'm all for it. Leverage the platform that's there and the best platform for you. And most importantly, the best platform that provides you what you need and how you want to grow. Now, that goes to the company push. And whenever you get a company push, you better use that. When it comes to online marketing, there's only one company push I did not attempt to use, and I really wish I had done that. And that was when Instagram was really pushing a lot of its features. And anybody was using those features, they saw immediate growth. And that just worked perfect timing. That it was just a few years before the pandemic, right? When people had to just look at their phones. Now, of course, another platform just exploded and destroyed Instagram out of the water, if you will, to an extent, at least during that same time period. But a lot of people experienced significant growth from Instagram just a few years before the pandemic, and especially soon after it was acquired by Facebook. And that wasn't a push I got behind. It just wasn't in Instagram. On a personal note, and professionally, I didn't need it. Just wasn't a big thing for me. But the company push that everyone should take advantage of, once again, of the second most followed, most used platform, is YouTube is putting a lot into new creators. Now, is it going flat out bribing? Let's just be real, right? Paying new creators? Let me take that out. Is it flat out paying for creators to come over to his platform? No. Not to the same extent, right? That others are. But if you are a new creator just getting started, you just want to get off the ground, there is literally a technical push. There is a legitimate push for you to get in front of the right people. Now, YouTube is not just suggesting channels for the fun of it. to any old body. No, it's looking at, hey, this is a similar channel to the others that people have subscribed to. So it's suggesting, and it's suggesting on a more precise level. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of when they're putting that time, effort, and energy to get you the attention that you deserve. Because when you get that attention, when you get that traction, what's going to happen? You're going to look more attractive to advertisers. You're going to look more attractive to sponsors. You're going to look more attractive to business partners. You're going to look more attractive to investors. The key is to leverage that platform in your favor, which is another thing, another aspect, another opportunity, the searchability of YouTube. YouTube is one of the easiest to use for search, which is what makes it a search engine. What makes it a search engine is that everything is accessible by other search engines. Yahoo, Bing, of course, Google. This is why it's, although an aspect of search engine optimization, I will always say social media plays a role in it, and it should never be discounted. I don't know why some people try to separate it. It should be connected at all times, but there is no other platform, strictly that's a video platform, that is. There's no other platform that has great search capabilities like YouTube for you to be found through search engines. And remember, search engine optimization, that's the investment you're putting into it, whether you're working with a paid SEO or you're doing it yourself. So that's the level of investment. It's really time dedication that you got to invest in it, which goes to the final piece and the final area of opportunity, flexibility. YouTube is very flexible. The experience is great on mobile. It's great on a desktop. It's great on television. It has all of those capabilities to where your content is accessible from all devices. And the experience doesn't really change too much. Maybe the resolution size of the screen, yes. But at the end of the day, almost everyone's accustomed to, watching movies and videos on a tablet, on a phone, on their desktop, on their TV. This is what separates it from pretty much every other platform. I mean, I'm just going to put it out there right now. Y'all can answer for me. Are you going to watch TikTok on your TV? Are you going to watch TikTok from a desktop? No. Now, yes, we have a significant number of users out there in the world who access everything through mobile. Legit, there's a significant user base there. But the problem is that although that's significant, that's not consistent in every market. And that's definitely not the same across all industries that are targeting an audience. Some audiences are primarily accessing content through the desktop. Many, of course, are still, we still have TVs for a reason, right? So I ask you again, I know it's little things like this that get missed when people want to jump on a trend and a fad. And I understand completely why, because they're like, oh my God, I'm blowing up on TikTok, or I know a brand that's blowing up on TikTok, or I know a brand that blew up on this platform and another platform. Yes, but is that your target audience? And most importantly, is that what's best for your content and your message? YouTube is extremely flexible because you don't find too many online platforms where people say, I don't mind if it's my phone, a TV, tablet, or laptop, or desktop. It doesn't matter. I've literally seen somebody stop watching a video on their TV to check it out on their phone because they had to move on and do something else, but they wanted to get mobile. They're like, oh, I'm about to jump on a train, but they kept watching the video on their phone. Not a break in that stride. Take advantage of that. So those opportunities, the competition is there, yes, but it's there for a reason. The platform is extremely highly stable compared to so many others, especially as those that come in and enter markets and get booted out of markets, or just have a crazy barrier of entry to really get some traction to where it's not even worth getting on there in some cases. You're getting a company push behind it. Your content will be searched, right? You just have to make sure you're connecting with an audience. What audience is there that they can find you and you can connect with them? And then the flexibility of the platform itself to leverage it for what you got to do, for what you want to do, for the people you want to connect to. So those are the opportunities. I mean, there's a lot more to it, but those are the basic opportunities that are there that should, listen, just get started. Don't worry and beat yourself up about that first video being the best video on earth. The key is to get started, learn as you go, and build a community that looks for your content there. When we come back, we're going to go into what to read for the episode. All right, everybody. So we got into it. We looked over the history and, of course, the statistics. Why can I not say that word right now? I don't know. I'm so weird. Go fig. The statistics of YouTube. And, of course, on his birthday, we had to give, of course, the opportunities that are there for you to join in and become a creator on YouTube. So with that, we got to finish with what to read. Now, for YouTube, surprisingly, based on even some other topics, YouTube is not the hardest topic to find. People sharing their expertise, their insights, their guidance, which should show us something about it, right? It should tell us that, hey, there is something there if people are not only finding success, but they're wanting to share that success. And of course, they want to build a business off of it. And that's understandable, because why not? Why not make a profit from sharing your expertise? In fact, there's nothing better else to do that. That's the best way to do it. You know what I mean? Just not just necessarily just working for someone else, but really building your own business by sharing what you do, what you love to do with others, and helping them do the same. So what book to cover with that? Because like I said, unlike some other topics, this is actually a pretty decent amount of books out there. Only a few that I would recommend, but what I consider the definitive guide. I call it the definitive guide because it covers YouTube from an angle that a lot of people miss in videos and in other books about YouTube. It covers all aspects, of course, from the technology angle, of course, from the angle of, best times to post or how to read analytics, things like that. But it also focuses on the area that is typically the area that's really holding you back. Because most people are held back not because of the camera that they have, the phone that they have, the microphone, no. They're actually held back by the why of what they do. And is it important enough? Or most importantly, not just the message, but the connection with the audience. And I'm even going to throw one to you before I get into the actual book. Throw one at you. Are you prepared for success? That's the other thing. Some people, they've actually found success on platforms like YouTube and others. And they're like, no, I just don't want this. And you know what? That's okay too. And this book actually helps you deal with some of those questions and conversations, because the authors of that book, you could tell they went through it, but they also have had their ups and downs with it. And they've been very candid in sharing those things, both through their channels and in this book as well. YouTube Secrets, the ultimate guide to growing your following and making money as a video influencer. Now, don't let that last part fool you. Video influencer, it doesn't mean that your business has to be social media. I've always been very cautious about that. When people say, this is what they want to do, and my not necessarily pushback, but I question, is your end game to be, I'm going to teach you how to make money using video, using social media, using a platform? Or is your content around, I use this platform, I use these tools, and I'm showing people how, no matter what your discipline is, you can do the same. So in other words, you're going to do what you do, whether YouTube existed or not. And people miss that when they think of terms like video influencer, social media influencer. Like, there's a lot of people who are considered social media influencers. Their business isn't social media. Their business is something else. Their skill set is aligned to something else. It's just they happen to blow up on social media and now they leverage it. But I always question that. And even though this is about the power of this great platform, like, I still consider this the best platform for creators. You've seen those stats. We covered them early in the episode. That you don't count on one job. You don't count on one platform because you don't own these things, right? As much as I like to YouTube, as much as I like the platform, I know I don't own it. No, really, I don't. I really don't. I'm not making it up. And I know that it can go away at any time potentially, right? Because we don't own these things. It's more stable than all other platforms. It is more search than all the other platforms. It has, as once again, we've seen all those stats, it has the highest payout than the other platforms. Yet, you don't own it. So you should always have your own platform. And that's, of course, your website. But if you're going to leverage it, why not learn from people who have either approached it from the exact same angle as yourself, or they've had a lot of the challenges that you may face or you have faced when starting out. YouTube Secrets, the ultimate guide to growing your following and making money as a video influencer. As mentioned, there's only 3 books I would really recommend for YouTube, but this is the number 1, and this is the only one I'm going to bring up in this episode because it covers those things. It covers, hey, you might not have the best camera right now. Hey, you might not have the best microphone right now. Hey, you might not have the best setup right now. This is what really you need to get started. It has nothing to do with those things. Just get started. Get going. Here's some of the challenges you're going to face, and this is how you overcome those challenges. Fantastic book by Sean Cannell, Benji Travis, who have been YouTubers for many years, and you can look and check out their content. It's fantastic content because it shows you the reality of, hey, getting started from square one and just building from there. And you can see their journey, and they've shared their journey. They've been very open to share their journey. I also wanted to share who to watch. Now, a few of these are a little bit more tailored to a specific type of content, but you can apply it to pretty much any industry in any sector and their approach to video making and their advice. So the first one I would give you is Pat Flynn. Now, I've mentioned Pat Flynn quite a few times because Pat was one of the very first podcasts I started listening to on a regular basis. I wasn't really into podcasts like that. It wasn't my kind of thing. And then I was like, oh, wait, this guy, he's speaking my language. I like this. And he was giving it to, once again, a very realistic angle. Not, oh, I took a $10,000 loan and no. And that $10,000 loan I didn't have to pay back and I started a $1 billion business. No. Because it don't work like that, y'all. Be real with yourself. Start from where you can start and then get it going. Pat has a great channel. I do recommend his podcast as well. Nolan Malt. I actually started watching him on another platform, and I've always liked the way he presented his information, presented his advice, presented his brand, right? And the biggest thing is presenting his story. Once again, very realistic, very, very much what you and I would encounter and what you can grow into. Great tips and advice on video creation, but more importantly, and specifically to this, YouTube creation, right? Content creation and how to approach it. Basic tips. He has some good courses, some good information. Great channel to follow. MKBHD. If I was 14, when he started out, if you look at his channel when he first started out, that would have been the channel I would have started. Every time I think about that, when I looked at his first videos, I'm like, that would be the channel I would have started as a teenager. Just talking about cool gadgets and technology and stuff I like. But look what he's grown into. And this is why I reference him, not just because he has actually a great course about YouTube. If I find the name of it, I'll share that too. But and creating videos, but just in general, his approach to it, it's a great production, but it's also very inquisitive, very, hey, I have questions. I want to know how this works. That's a great way to approach it. And a lot of people will engage with you if you're just very open and honest. Like, hey, we're interested. A lot of people will engage with your content if they see that you're just interested and you have a genuine and authentic interest in what you're doing and what you're talking about and what you want to share. There's a lot of channels that I follow. They don't necessarily have 1 billion followers, but they have a very loyal following and user base because of the fact that person is really genuine in how they care about that content that they're making. Think Media. Now, Think Media, Nolan actually, if I'm not mistaken, worked with Think Media, and I believe that's one of the first channels I saw him on. But just in general, when you're trying to step up your video game, this is what it's all about. But they've covered a little bit of everything. But when you're really trying to step up your content creation, Start from where you start. And even they, at this point, I mean, yeah, they have the best cameras. They have some of the best, yes, they have some of the best gear in the game. But you start from where you start. And they actually preach that more than, I think, pretty much any other channel I've seen. They preach that all the time. Just get Nick Neiman. Now, Nick Neiman, I've been watching Nick Neiman for quite some time. His studio changed up quite a bit. His approach, changed up a bit. And I loved it because it shows you the growth, but it also shows you when you zero in on what you really love and what you really enjoy. The guy knows video, but more importantly, specifically to this, once again, YouTube. And he tell you he can break it down like a fraction. If you're not going to teach YouTube, that's fine. If you're not going to tell people about YouTube and train them on those things, that's fine. But if you're going to use it and leverage it as a platform for your business, then you need to take the time to study and understand it. So that's everybody, even people that, I built websites for, I've done SEO for. I'm like, I want you to learn at least a little bit of the basics. That way you can even fact check my work. I don't care, because as a professional, I just care about doing a good job. And the more you are understanding that of what I've done is very good and I've done my job well, we're all gravy together. That's how I look at it. And that's how a person who really enjoys what they're doing, that's how they look at things. They don't look at it as work. They look at it as an investment. We had a guest on the podcast mention that. You don't look at it as an expense. You don't look at it as work. You look at it as an investment. As I've mentioned in the years past, you have to fall in love with the boring work, because that's where the success comes in. You gotta love practice. And yes, we know there's people who can't stand practice. People can't stand training. I know I bring this up often. Back in my day when I was a personal trainer, my very short period of time, that 1 week that I did it, one of the things we would always talk about when I would speak to other trainers and I asked them about exercises, I asked them about getting results for clients, because that's always what it's been about with me. No matter what I do, is getting a result for the client. They would focus on this. Yeah, but I make sure the client or the the person that they're training, stretching, warm-ups, and what they don't do outside the gym. That's what matters the most. Now, don't get me wrong, form and how intense you go. Yes, that's critical when you're in the gym. But what dictates how you're going to get to that point? Are you sleeping enough? Are you eating the right foods? Are you stretching before you do an exercise, or do any rigorous, waking up in the morning? Are you warming up before you actually get into the workout? Not to go on a tangent, but just to say, that's actually where we found one of the biggest problems when people would work out. They couldn't get through the whole workout because the muscles weren't warmed up, or they didn't see the results because the muscles like, okay, I did the workout, I'm good. But no, did you push yourself past that by a little getting loose, getting flexible, getting ready to go? When I think of people who take the time to put into practice or understanding how the tools work, Nick comes to mind when it comes to YouTube immediately. I trust YouTube advice from these people, but especially in bringing up Nick, because that YouTube advice is what I've used and leveraged for clients in the past. When they ask me what channel or what can I learn more, I'm like, hey, I go to this channel. You should go to this channel too. When I've set up a few, YouTube channels for past clients, go to this channel. You'll learn a lot more about YouTube, because that wasn't the bread and butter of our business. We were focusing on websites and other areas of digital marketing, but we would connect them early on just to YouTube and get them understanding how YouTube can help them. Nick was immediately one of those channels I suggested. Finally, Jawed Karim. Now, I'll tell you, if you are a creator that is looking for your niche, or you are a creator that's looking for new updates on YouTube and what's changing, if you are a creator that's looking for a channel to connect with, where you say, hey, I've been there, I've done that, she's touching on things that I can learn of where to start from. Beginner, intermediate, or expert, Jawed is a great channel to reference. I referenced Jawed quite a few years back and still consistently follow her channel. I recommend her channel to everybody. Everything from how to set up your content, how to, and notice, I'm not talking about one particular industry or business. I'm saying in general, how to set up your content, what to look out for, great ways to build engagement, great ways to connect with your audience. Where if you're starting from here, how to take it to the next level, how to make this how to make it your entire business. Jade is a channel I would definitely recommend. Definitely a great content creator, great personality, great energy. And I will say that great energy and personality on camera, all of these people, but they all do it their own way. And that's the most important thing. Be yourself. Be yourself. And even if you have a faceless channel, be yourself. Or if you're creating a character for that channel, dive right into it. If you put 100% in, I'm guaranteed you're going to get 100%, but you got to go hard with it. You got to go all the way. And you got to fall in love with the boring work. So, what to read? YouTube Secrets, book by Cannell and Benji Travis. And of course, Who to Watch gave you 6 channels there to check out. 6 of my favorite channels. Subscribe to all these. I ain't got no problem saying it. I ain't get paid, but I don't care. Because that's the whole purpose of this platform, is to give you guys the advice that you can turn into action. Check out their channels, how to get started. They talk about it all, how to get started and what tools to use, some ways to overcome some of those challenges, the way to overcome, fear on camera. And once again, even if you're starting a faceless channel, they can help you there as well. So YouTube's today is becoming, it's a young adult. YouTube is a young adult. And you know what that means? There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. You remember when you were younger? And if you're a little older, you know how it is when you're at 20 years old, 25 years old. But it ain't going nowhere. Use this platform as best you can. Optimize it for your business. Optimize it for your creativity. Optimize it for your goals. Do it while it's free. Okay? And I know, don't get me wrong. I know there's some people out there that thinking like, man, they're not going to charge to make no YouTube channel anytime soon. I'm saying it now, so I won't have to go back and say, remember when I said this before and and I didn't post it or I didn't talk about it? No. Do it while it's free. I'm telling you right now, do it while it's free. And even if it's 20 years down the road that somebody's hearing this, and they're like, hey, there was a guy back in the day that kept saying, make a YouTube while it was free. Do it while it's free. The only thing it's going to cost you is the time, effort, and energy that you wanted to put into creating and developing and building your business anyway. So leverage what's there. Showcase what you could do. Connect with the hundreds of thousands of millions of billions of people who visit this platform every single month, every single day. And what I want to see, what I do want to see, is in our community post about this episode. I would love to know what your YouTube channel is about. Now, don't go dropping a bunch of links and stuff like that. No. I just want to know what your channel is about. Because maybe you haven't gotten it started just yet. But just what is your channel about? Get that wheel turning. Watch these channels. Read the book. Check out this episode. And in the full breakdown of this episode, the transcript of this episode, we have more, not only stats about YouTube, right, and the growth opportunities that are there, but we also have some great resources about YouTube that can connect you and help you with your YouTube channel. All right. But yeah, just drop a comment in the community post about what's your channel going to be about, or what it is about right now. And who are you trying to connect with? Love to know that. Love to grow with you guys and get that going. So with that, everybody, thank you once again. Let's thank you once again for joining us for the YouTube birthday party celebration. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's a young adult right now, but it's a growing, and we're growing with it. Check out the book. Check out those channels that I suggested, as well as drop a comment of what your YouTube channel is about. And then we'll check you out for the next episode of The Ambition Show. I've been your host, Aaron Muhammad. Thank you very much. Peace to you and your loved ones.